2 years ago, I played basketball for my high school team. I love the sport, but the coaching staff not so much. I felt I needed to prove myself even though I was already on the team. My parents were always yelling at me to do better, but I know they mean it in the best possible way. Junior year had approached and I didn't want to play because of the pressure and the way the coaching staff had coached us. I had told my dad that I didn't want to play, and that's when everything went south. He wanted me to play very badly, and I told him that I hated the sport now. The coaches made me hate the sport that I used to love. My dad was so disappointed in my decision to quit because they could have used a center, and they didn't really have a winning season or a winning record, which took a toll on us girls. To this day, my parents still bring up the fact that I'm not playing, and I should be. They try guilt-tripping me, and it's my decision not to play, and they don't get a say in it. They try to pressure me into playing again. They believe that I had made a terrible decision, even though I'm happy with the decision I made to do. It's my life, and I should be able to make my own decisions, not them. In this speech, I'm going to talk about parental pressure on high school athletes. Parents need to understand what kind of stress their athlete undergoes in high school. Athletes compete at a competitive level, which takes a toll on their physical, mental, and emotional being. According to the research by the National Alliance of Sports, if your daughter or son plays on any sports team, 7 out of 10 of the athletes on that team won't be playing any sport or any organized sport whatsoever by the time they're teenage years. Athletes don't want to play in high school because of the level of competition. Injuries affect the athlete's physical being, while others think of them affects their mental status. Win or losses of each game affects them emotionally. Parents want to try to live vicariously through their child's accomplishments, which creates stress on them to perform to their fullest. Parents want to try and relive moments they didn't get to experience when they played. But through your child is not the way to go. That puts stress on the athlete to perform beyond their ability to. Along with the pressure from the coaches and players adds to the parental pressure they already get. They expect so much out of their child, and it gets to the point of where the athlete doesn't want to play anymore. Stress builds up on them, and sometimes it just gets too much for them to handle all at once. According to Youth Sport, high school athletes that experience parental pressure develop mood swings, depression, and disconnection from their peer group, and often require professional help. Parents honestly need to understand the amount of stress their athlete goes through. Athletes try to find themselves among the rest of the athletes, and it's hard because they know their strengths and weaknesses, and others show they are more than just strengths and weaknesses. They have more to prove. Trying to fit in with all the other athletes who are much more experienced with the game, according to Livestrong, parents heckle opposing players and disrespect the officials and coaches. It teaches the athlete that behavior is acceptable, and it's not. Parents should only be there to watch and support their child. They need to try and encourage them to find their way with the sport. Parents set a standard for their child, their athlete to meet, and at most times it's hard to meet your parents' standards. According to Livestrong, when a child is not interested, that support soon turns into pressure. Pressure can offend and make a child athlete feel forced to play and perform to satisfy their parents. And that's not how it should be done. The sport already creates enough stress along with the athlete itself. It comes with stress on school, on family, and their social life, relationships, homework, and practice. According to Detroit Free Press, Many parents push their child too much, thinking they are doing the right thing, but they are causing damage. They are creating performance problems with their child athlete. The athlete has a lot of stress to deal with school and keeping their grades up, along with the stress they already get from the sport that they play. The sport they play consists of multiple, like, travel teams and stuff like that they, like, extra leagues and stuff. According to CNN, parents made the mistake in involving their child in too much of the same sport, playing on 6 travel teams or just a recreational league. It's overwhelming for the athlete to juggle all these things with school and stuff. Athletes get overwhelmed more than they need to. But that's what affects their performance and their academics and their academic grades, and they can't keep up. Getting all the stress under control, but they still have the pressure from their parents to worry about. Sports come with successful and unsuccessful days. There are ups and downs, just like a roller coaster. They need that support from their parents, but they usually don't get it. Unsuccessful days are the ones that follow bad losses. The certain things they could have done better in the game to come back, but they get overstressed and the loss beats them up for it. They beat themselves up for it, and they just need to move on to the next game because they need to perform better with that. According to Detroit Press, parents should give consistent support and excitement regardless to the outcome of the game, because the actual outcome doesn't matter at this point. They need to support to come back from the bad loss. If they don't get the support that they need, then they won't perform well. They won't succeed with the sport. This game you learn a lot from, but you can learn things that pertain to life, and life's the big game. Life's the team game. That's where all the successful and unsuccessful days come in handy. Failure to please your parents in the sport and academics, the amount of stress it brings to them, according to Detroit Press. In addition to paying attention to the signs and needing space after a game, parents should be alert when their child has had enough of the sport and needs a break. You just need to give them some time, and they will figure it all out on their own. According to Healthy Children, reality sports success comes often from learning from your previous failures. You learn from them, you perfect it so you don't do it again. You learn and handle everything and get everything under control. When you decide to play, you are basically signing up for stress, which most athletes can handle that. In conclusion, parental pressure on high school athletes is harmful. Parents need to understand that their athlete knows what they are doing. Athletes know what they're doing, but they don't need anything. They just need support from their parents, and that's it.